and welcome to our webinar, Paving the Way into the Future of Healthcare. Today, we have a lot of amazing content all about the future of healthcare and how you can be on the leading edge by leveraging Pyramid Analytics and Tigma Technologies consulting services. My name is Claudia Coppens, and I am the Director of Sales and Customer Success for Tigma Technologies. With me today, I have Steve Murthey, Director of Partners, and Joe Beaubien, Director of North America Sales Engineering at Pyramid Analytics. Our objective today is to provide you with insights of where we are headed in the healthcare space, how Pyramid Analytics supports your journey with a powerful data analytics platform, and how Tigma Technologies will deliver the solutions you need with expert consultants seamlessly without downtime, allowing you to focus in what you need, which is staying ahead of the competition. We have organized this session in 3 parts. First, we will talk about the current and future state of the healthcare according to the latest Gartner predictions report. In the second part, we will talk about the great synergy between Tigma Technologies and Pyramid Analytics, and how Pyramid Analytics is positioned as a great choice for healthcare organizations. Then we will see Pyramid Analytics in action with an amazing demo by Joe. And last, conclude with some recommendations. So let's get started. The healthcare industry creates more data than any other part of the US economy. It is also facing several immediate challenges, including decreasing margins, rising digital innovation expectations among patients, evolving healthcare delivery models, driving digital healthcare affordability and personalized care, increasing competitions on the healthcare delivery landscape, and payer organizations looking to advance digital innovation. Newcomers now include players such as Amazon, Walmart, Apple, and Google, among many others, that have identified the healthcare market as an easy addition to their existing offerings. According to Gartner, major changes will occur in the industry in the next couple of years, such as the rise of Amazon as the first claims-free payer, the shift from hospital beds to home beds, the increase in the connectivity between patients, payers, and providers, and employers contracting telehealth plans as a more convenient and less costly alternative to in-person care, among others. Amazon, as a new powerful contender, is able to operate as a technology platform and will be in a position to expand existing healthcare as a services offering. They also have the capability to move us away from the old-fashioned ways we have been operating. By 2026, Gartner predicts that 15% of first contact delivery will shift from the emergency departments to the patient's homes. Also, we will see the shift from the traditional patient portal to digital front solutions as the primary way of digital engagement. A digital front door is a way to give your patients access to all your online services in one place, such as scheduling online appointments, access medical records, lab results, billing, and payments. Creating a more simplified and cohesive experience for your patients will offer them greater convenience and help them keep loyal to your organization. This transition to digital front door solutions is the result of the fact that video visits, customer service chatbots, and patient portals are no longer enough. We really need to double touchpoints for data due to the shifting of the revenue cycle and new ways of operating business models, so we can get to a place where we can recognize these investments. In order to be able to accelerate health value delivery, we need to shift to real-time, automated, interoperable data and workflows that enable an optimal total experience. Similar to the way that Amazon has the ability to follow the journey, the research, shop, enroll, renew, understanding the options, finding care, getting care, and paying for care. They have the ecosystem in place that happen and to process claims accordingly. Pyramid Analytics and Tigma Technologies together can rapidly help you improve your financials, guiding you through your digital innovation and hyper-automation journey that will improve patient outcomes and streamline operations so that you can increase your margins. I hope you found this information insightful. Thank you. I will now pass the microphone to Steve Murthey, who is going to talk to us about the great synergy between Tigma Technologies and Pyramid Analytics. Take it away, Steve.
Thank you, Claudia. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Murthey, Partner Director here at Pyramid. We're very excited to partner with Tigma Technologies, which brings a wealth of knowledge in the healthcare domain. Not only can Tigma configure Pyramid to meet your specific analytical needs, but their experience in implementation and integration will make that transition to Pyramid as seamless as possible, right? So the question is, who is Pyramid, right? We as a company were founded and been around since 2009. In 2016, our founder stepped back and looked at what was and wasn't working in the then available legacy analytics platforms which most of you are probably using today. And they also looked at what was needed for the future. And what they found out was that the platforms wouldn't be able to handle the growing complexity of data volumes and landscapes or provide user-friendly analytics tools. Let's face it, legacy platforms were designed for a world before ubiquitous data devices were in everybody's hands, before hyperscalers, and before today's EMR and EHR systems were even around. They also saw that the lines between business analytics, data preparation, and data science, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, were starting to blur. So in late 2018, we released the current version of Pyramid, unifying business analytics, data prep, and data science into a single integrated decision intelligence platform. Our no-code platform is a modern, comprehensive platform with seamless data integration from sources throughout your organization. We drive democratized data insights by enabling users across the business spectrum to uncover valuable trends and drive strategic actions with very, very little training. And we can simplify and lower the analytics stack total cost of ownership, hardware, software, and training as such, by providing a very broad breadth of very mature capabilities. So let's talk about our differentiators versus the legacy platforms. First, our hyper-fast Piranha query engine provides high performance and scalability with read data access to most any data repository at scale in a single view. We can handle huge data volumes that the legacy platforms just cannot. And better, because of read access, we push the query down to the data source and only return the answer sets that are needed. What's important about that is there's no data movement, there's no data ingestion required. And that reduces data latency, business logic loss, data security risk, and data movement charges. One great example of this is the Foschini Group. They're a global retail group with a portfolio of 29 fashion brands. They manage 4,000 outlets in 32 countries. It was taking their analytics team 3.5 days to create operational reporting because they were trying to do so on the legacy platforms. Now with Pyramid, the reports run in under 20 minutes and provide near real-time sales performance data from the 3,200 scores to the C-level down to the store managers. And that's built on a very complex data ecosystem that included SAP BW, HANA, Oracle, Microsoft, and others. Another place we shine is we make data easily available to all decision makers, from the C-suite to the business analyst to the data scientist to the front line. Our AI-guided, governed self-service ensures users stay in their comfort zone by removing complexity. Automated insights, natural language generation, chatbots, chat GPT integration, our explain capability, and a slew of other ways make it very easy for users to manipulate their data. A good example of this is the Department of Veterans Affairs. They leverage data from over 200 premise and cloud data sources with well over 500 databases. They support over 50,000 users, and that rate is growing at 1,000 users more per month. And these are technical and non-technical business users, like the Office of Nursing Services, who use Pyramid to analyze staffing needs. And all 50,000 of these users are managed by just 2 Pyramid admins. And our third differentiator is our unparalleled breadth of robust capabilities, our integrated data pipeline, and our virtual semantic layer, which future-proofs analytic assets. Whether AI, ML-driven data prep and modeling, calculations, business logic or rules, dashboards and applications, our spreadsheet-like business modeling, or other modules that Joe will show you, we can simplify analytics and lower that total cost of ownership. But don't just believe us. Pyramid was recognized as a visionary in the 2023 Gartner Magic Quadrant for Analytics and Business Intelligence Platforms, with a very big move up and to the right. And in the ever important Critical Capabilities report, Pyramid is the top vendor. Compared to the other 19 entrants, Pyramid is the only platform in the top 5 for all 4 critical capability categories. We placed first in augmented analytics consumers, that's the business users. We placed first for business analysts. We placed second for data scientists, and we placed fourth for analytics developers. So we're top ranked by Gartner. Dresner and Bark love us as well. But customers do pay attention to the analysts, but what they're really interested in are things like career performance, return on investment, ease of use, right? The great thing is we excel at all of those things that add up to overall customer satisfaction. So the net is our customers and the analysts really, really like us. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joe, who will now do a short demo of the Pyramid platform. Joe?
All right. Thank you very much, Steve. Let's jump on into that demonstration here. Going to switch over. So the first place we want to start is right here within the platform. So what you're seeing in this example is everything that Steve just mentioned, all those differentiators, key capabilities that drive healthcare innovation, that drive a better patient experience, all driven through data and all handled within one single platform. So the components that make up something that revolutionary are pretty vast, right? We have our modeling, which is where we prepare, cleanse, connect, inject machine learning so that we're getting that next level of advanced analytics all the way down to the data layer so that everything downstream from that is just, there and in place for the end users who are doing that analysis. We have Discover, which is a commoditized aspect of our business. We all have visualization tools, but what you're going to see as we walk through here is that we took the time, we looked back and said, what's not working? What are people really challenged with? And what flexibility are people demanding for the next generation of analytical self-service tools? And that was a core concept and thought process for the Pyramid Analytics platform. We have Formulate, and Formulate starts to dive into a bigger concept that all healthcare and actually all organizations, regardless of the industry, are really dealing with today. And that is, I have calculations everywhere, right? Don't get me started on all the data prep tools, the visualization tools, the core reporting tools, and then all the Excel on top of that, right? I have no consistency from my organization. Formulate strives to be that central location where you can store that very important business logic, those calculations and KPIs that can be used in a myriad of different ways, whether in dashboarding, core reporting, or in an Excel-like experience. And speaking of that, Tabulate is that Excel or tabular type of experience, right? So those individuals who are used to day in, day out working in Excel, right? The highest adopted, BI tool, if you'll call it that, in the world. How do we bring that experience and that high level of adoption into a more governed web-based way? And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like during this presentation. We have those individuals who still want to bring data together from multiple sources into one single view. Think about all your EMRs. Think about all the lab and the patient different databases where your information is stored, how do you bring a single picture for a physician? Right? How does that director of cardiology understand a complete patient population with the ability to drill down into details? Right? All of this, leveraging data to ultimately drive the care of your individual patients, right? And using data to do that. We then have the publish, right? We all know it, and the VA is a great use case for this. We have the nurses and the doctors and the frontline workers who are out there, and they don't have time to go through a dashboard and do data discovery, let alone learn a tool and have to build out their own content. It's not going to happen. It's not part of their day-to-day job. What we need to do is push that very robust and that very comprehensive content to them. And maybe we do that in the form of infographics, or maybe we do that just in the form of visuals and other tabular type reporting, so that they can look at a document and in 5 seconds, they know this is where my patient population sits, right? This is where my department is with our finances. These are all the different capabilities that are present in this one single platform. And that's really, really revolutionary when we think about the biggest challenge facing healthcare and organizations today from an analytics perspective. I have 7 different tools that do what we're doing in one. There's operational efficiencies that can be gained by going with a platform like Pyramid. So I'm going to step in and just showcase a couple different examples of working within the platform. And then we're going to start with modeling. Modeling how we access your data. And just to keep into perspective the personas, I'm someone who is maybe a data analyst or a data modeler type of individual. I know what the back end looks like, and maybe I'm semi-savvy, but I'm not a coder. I don't want to write SQL. I just want to connect to that data. So I want to go to my Model Pro, and I want to go through my list of all the different sources I have access to, right? Whether it's backend EMR data, whether it's, again, your labs data, whether it's your finance, that could reside in a number of different places. And I want to be able to come in to any one of these places and say, you know what, I'd really like to look at that. Let's go through here. Fine. Let's look at that financial data, or maybe my accounts receivable. Right? And I want to be able to view that, and I want to directly query it. So the big piece of our platform that I think is important to mention is that we don't ask you to move your data. We don't want to ingest your data. And in healthcare, that is a red flag from an analytics perspective. If someone's forcing you to duplicate very proprietary HIPAA type data, that's not a solution, right? We need to be able to go directly at those sources without ever having to move or ingest that data. That's lowering the total risk for you and driving up, the adoption of how widespread we can use this analytics platform within the health system. Right? So I might be simply clicking on this. I want to use my direct query. I save this report, and as quickly as I've done that, I'm in here and I have my accounts receivable data. I can open it and I can start diving in it and building out whatever analysis is needed. Now, we're going to come back to this in just a second, because I am fully aware that it's never that easy, right? It can be if your data is ready and you have sources of data that can be accessed in this way. A lot of times, though, you're dealing with this, right? I have data coming from APIs. I have data with SQL backends. I have some Snowflake data that our marketing team has. I have some data I have to bring with R and another SQL instance, which is my labs. I need to federate all this together while also prepping this data, masking this data as needed, driving time intelligence so I can see maybe my hourly or down to every 15 minutes, what is my ER wait times and how can I address that? I want to be able to handle my column operations and even inject machine learning. So this is a great example of being able to do clustering inside of a workflow, a data workflow, without ever having to know code. That's going to drive up the adoption. That's going to drive up the usage when you're not sitting here for weeks on end trying to figure out the Python, the R, or the SQL to do all of that. And so a lot of capabilities to access the data and to create that single model. And at the end of the day, I'm not putting it into some proprietary memory. I'm putting it wherever you need it to be. If you want to drop that data into Redshift, Oracle, SQL, Snowflake, anything you see on this list, you have that option to write back to those sources. Now, once it's there, I want to be able to come in and I want to be able to start working with this data. And for me, I want to ask questions. Here's a question I asked earlier. Show me the top 5 primary care physicians by denial rates. Probably a fairly important question someone might ask within my department. I want to see that as a bar. You can see I'm communicating over here through a chat bot. And then maybe I want to actually look at my did not file bills by my color buys, right? And maybe I want to see, just something like a percentage of max. So I can see which physicians not only are getting high denial rates, but they're also not filing their bills to get paid, right? That combination is a big problem in finance. And so we want to find those outliers and start to understand, why are you getting denial rates so high? Why are you not filing your bills in a timely manner so that we can receive that revenue from the patients or the payers, right? So being able to very rapidly get those questions answered by either communicating or using the standard drag and drop type of method is all possible inside of here. I can also start over and say, you know what, I'd really like to use that time intelligence, look at my full months, and I want to look at my total charges, right? And maybe I want to actually also come in and add in something like some forecasts, right? I want to add in a best fit forecast. So I can see right now it's trending down, but that's really because of my last 2 months. So if I were to come in here and say, you know what, I'd actually like to remove that member, right? And I'd like to remove this one as well. And let's lastly remove this one because it's starting to skew the numbers. I really want to understand what's going on. Now I have a better understanding. Okay, what can I expect from a forecasting perspective? I can run regression, Pareto's, clusters, more advanced type of analytics, all from this experience right here as an end user. And I can save this and I can start building out my presentations, right? So one presentation that I started to build out is this one. And so what you're going to see is this is not just a collection of visuals and reports. It can actually be an experience. As I come in, maybe as a director of a department or a director of a health system, there's a lot of different areas I want to go into. I shouldn't have to pull up one dashboard, then another dashboard, then another dashboard. I want to bring this entire experience into one single application where I can look at my population, I can look at my AR, I can look at my financial reporting, right? And all of this can be done in one single platform. So once I have this built, and you can see I've put a couple things together inside of here to help us tell this story, I want to be able to take off my author hat and say, okay, I have now deployed this, either embedded into my EMRs, if that's where everyone is working from. I want to be able to maybe just send a link out to my physicians and say, hey, here is a dashboard or an interactive view of your data. You go ask whatever questions you have of it. That is going to be really, really important for me as far as getting this information out in a very usable format. So what does that look like? Again, taking that author hat off, putting on my physician, my nursing hat, whatever it might be. This is what that can look like. So I'm going to go ahead and go full screen here. So I want to jump in first and foremost into my population discovery. I want to understand what's going on, both from a financial perspective, but from a DRG, from a service line perspective, and maybe this is my view, right? I have a number of KPIs at the top that are giving me important information. I have some trending with that forecasting that we were talking about. I'm looking at my male and female charges from a patient perspective, also looking at my DRGs by my different races and looking at charges. And then lastly, looking at my different chronic diseases so that I can, again, get an understanding where are things starting to get out of whack. Now I can click on any one of these. I get that visual filtering that everyone has today. It's table stakes. But as that physician, I really want to start diving into a couple different questions. One, I see that my AMI, the charges are going up and up and up and up. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing, right? I want to be able to come in here and I want to build an alert on my own, right? Let's just say if this continues to go up, even by, I don't know, 2%. That's a bad thing, right? Check every day, right? At maybe 5 p.m. at the end of the day, or whenever I want it to be run. And tell me, is this threshold broken? Send me an email, send me a text message, send me something if I'm leveraging like a Teams or a Slack. I want to know when this threshold is broken. It's going to help me better, do my job better when it's a data-driven. I'm not constantly coming in here saying, okay, has this threshold broken? Okay, how does this chart look today? I want to be proactive about it, right? I can also come in and start working with my nursing, the head of nursing potentially, and say, you know what, let's start a conversation. I'm going to start with a audio message to this nursing director. Hey, I see that our AMI charges are continuing to go up. I think I know, or I have an understanding, but can we do some research into what's really driving these costs? Maybe it's something we can do to lower overall charges for our patients. Let's take a look, right? So that's now going to be sent to that nurse with whatever messages, whatever attachments. But the point is that I'm in here and I'm communicating with the data to others who are viewing the data, right? Now, once I have that communication going on and I've gone through here, I see some other visuals that look really nice, but I'm not sure I really understand what's going on, right? If I look here, I clearly see invasive cardiology is a large area of charges for the W, which I assume is the white population from a race perspective. And I can see there's some other ones, but if I don't really know what's going on, I need help. Smart insights can actually drive some of that knowledge, some of that understanding and information, right? So it's going to pull out the anomalies. It's going to pull out the facts that are most important for me to understand about this chart as it is right now. And I can go even more advanced if I want to. It's going to look at my Asian population, right, from a race and understand the charges, and it's all happening within invasive cardiology. That is an impact that I was not going to be able to draw out just by simply looking at this visual. That's the type of insights that the non-technicals or the individuals who are not, analysts are looking for. They're looking for someone to drive that, and the platform can do that for them, right? All of this is an effort to drive those costs lower and to provide better care. Now, I have other questions. If I actually want to come in here and I want to say, you know what, I'm not interested in my DRG categories anymore. I'm actually interested in the charges by my different payers and by race. Just like that, I'm now switching all of this on my own and looking at my different payers, right? And you're going to see that all of my insights have now changed, right? In some cases, I can even come in here and get the categorical, which isn't showing on that one, but you're going to see I have a lot more insight now from an impact perspective. So I can make different and better decisions. If I want to drill down on something like Medicare, right, I can actually come in and say, okay, what specialties are the ones that are in particular having the highest charges? And I can again see cardiology, internal medicine. Okay, I want to drill down on cardiology. What about the age ranges? And no real surprise, it's the 65 and older, that, but I do have this 20 to 44, which is starting to creep up. So that's something I need to look at, and I can drill one more time and say, okay, exactly what DRG categories for that age range are we dealing with, right? And so I can see kind of what that looks like inside of here. So that's going to be really, really helpful for me as the end user. Now, this is just one example of being able to visually discover and play within the data to uncover new insights. I might want to come into something more related to AR. So my accounts receivable, I can see, am I hitting my targets? I can see that my 120 plus and my 60 to 90 are my highest. That's probably something I want to be able to change. Who are my biggest offenders when I come in here? And I can see that if I plot all of my physicians and I hover over, I can see this particular primary care physician. They have 4 million in charges. They have a denial rate of almost 3.5%, but they have 104,000 that they haven't filed yet, and 2.6 that's still outstanding. who is this? Where are they at? What's going on here? So can you explain to me, Pyramid, what's happening? So what this tells me is that those charges, they're mostly allocated within my female population, right? With the other chronic disease and within Springfield, which is one of my locations. This individual physician works in 3 locations, but the majority of their charges are coming while they're in Springfield. So that's their main base. Okay, so these are insights that I didn't have before that I do now. Within Springfield, I want to be able to drill down just like I did before, though, and say, okay, show me those AR buckets. Right, and it looks like a majority is in that 60 to 90. Okay, let's drill one more time into the payers within that 60 to 90, and I can see it's actually kind of all over the board. And so now I have a better understanding. I want to go drive change, and I want to understand how I can get these charges to roll over into revenue faster, right? And so those are all insights, again, that are being driven by the data. Now, at the same time, I want to be able to look just at my raw data. So understand, we're more than just reports. We're more than just visuals. We're able to bring multiple data sources into one single view for this end user, right? So I was looking at patient type information, physician type information with AR, and now I'm looking at overall financials for the organization. I'm doing things like per member per month loss triangles inside of here, which are fairly complex to do in some technologies. The point I want to stress here is that we can do the highly formatted reporting, but we can also do the visuals and provide whatever analysis is needed to better manage your patient population and drive down those costs. So with that, I'm going to toss it back over to Claudia and let her wrap things up.
Thank you, Joe. That was a great demo. We want to conclude with some recommendations. As we see, the current competitor landscaping is rapidly evolving. So staying on the course won't get you where you need to be. But how do you justify the investment when dealing with reduced margins? It's often challenging to be the leader. The most successful organizations watch the world around and are a very fast follower. If you lag, you will definitely be left behind. So not necessarily you need to be on the bleeding edge, but recognize that investing in foundational technologies that allow you to stay current and support emerging technologies such as metaverse will enable you to fast follow. Data fabric, data analytics, and artificial intelligence allowing you to process large amounts of data are definitely a must. Thank you for your time today. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. We look forward to hearing from you. My contact details are on the lower part of this slide, so please feel free to email me or call me to further discuss your current journey. Until next time.